Welcome home. It's September 27th and the episode title is Zombies and Other Good News. Than Gibson and DMing the World Press are in the spotlight, and we find out that they've recently released a Dark Space third-party license so people like you and me can create, sell and profit from Dark Space content. You can read the full interview on the blog. An easy way to find that is to navigate to the Spotlight page and follow the link from there. We've also upgraded the Spotlight page. Each month's honoree now appears in a bold banner at the top of the page, and Alumni now have a headline fader at the top of the archives as well. We started this in 2019, so there's now more than 6 years of interview content findable from that page. You can vote for next month's honoree if you are a patron through the standard private voting link. And the candidates are Bailey Records, Stillfleet, Nicholas Johnson, Dark Wizard Games, and Codex Interregnum. We wrapped up another vote on Geek Native this month too, and that was in a competition to win a copy of the Family Therapy RPG Adventuring Family. We asked the question, how old should children be before they play tabletop RPGs without adult supervision? We did have some expert answers and they agreed, well, any age, but without adult supervision, young kids were unlikely to get any extra learning or development from it. The public vote of readers placed their recommended ages between 10 and 13 with approximately a third of the votes. Definitely not suitable for kids is the latest Toxic Avenger movie. It's been lost in distribution limbo for too long, but might now finally be coming to a streaming platform near you. What caught my attention was the news that the movie wiped out $7 million of American medical debt. The United States does not have much in a way of a public health service, and so medical bills there can get out of hand. However, third parties can buy this medical debt at a rate of about 1 to 100, according to expert Daniel Lempert. Imagine if every American movie did this. If they just spent $5,000 on each release, then $500,000 of struggle would simply vanish, and I'd be more likely to support movies. On the other hand, I fear capitalism would kick in, and that 1 to 100 rate on buying medical debt would also simply vanish. An American production I'm looking forward to is Predator Badlands, as I think Predator is one of my all-time favourite action movies. I had been saving up MCM Comic Con London news for a while, but when the PR agency sent the news that seat reservations had opened, I knew it was time to put all that drip-fed headlines together into a single post. Now when I did that, it was clear that Badlands and the D&D actual play High Rollers had to be my headline news. And I think that is a testament to the still high popularity of actual play. So there we have Aliens and TTRPGs. Speaking of which, I got an early look at Steve D and 10 Star Games 5 years after a TTRPG. It's looking great, but it's not out yet. The premise is that you start 5 years after the apocalypse and then you work backwards to find out what happened. In my playthrough, it was aliens. Aliens who treated the Earth as an investment that they had the right and the authority to strip mine for resources. Your end of the world may be different. Pazio are not facing the end of the world, but their e-commerce operations will go through big changes. The Pathfinder publisher is ditching Presto, their in-house e-commerce platform, aka their shop, in favour of one powered by Big Commerce. That's a powerful system used by companies too big to get away with Shopify. However, it means 2 days of offline time, pre-orders are being cancelled, and the end of PDF and Foundry bundles, since BigCommerce doesn't support the idea of buying one thing, namely the Foundry module, and getting access to a different product, namely the PDF. Pezio say they will look into this later once the new shop is live, but big commerce is a hard beast to wrangle into shape, so I wish them the best of luck with that. Another new store is in Lehigh Road in South London, and it's called Igloo Tree, and it's co-run by the Masonian Arts Council. That's the company who publishes Trokia. The opening party is on right now, so let me know how it went and whether there are sore heads in the morning. A significant digital store deal has emerged at Drive-Thru Comics. They've secured another deal with Dark Horse and now stock an extensive Hellboy catalogue. We've been seeing comic book publishers actively expanding their presence on additional platforms in recent weeks, and I wonder if old Comixology exclusive deals are nearing their end of their duration. And you don't need to be a shop to be interested in the next bit of tabletop gaming news, but you might need to have a hefty budget. Heritage Auctions have a large collection of rare and high quality original role-playing games, including FAS's Doctor Who, TSR's Indiana Jones, and a lot of first and second D&D. We are expecting records to be set. And this week, Geek Native looked at Slavic-inspired monsters in a very deliberate attempt to steer away from classic editions of D&D encounters. We turned to Garda Realm for many of them, and found a whole set of undead that weren't always evil, but they often were, and absolute horrors at that. For example, the Opier are vampires in service to a god, but yes, they can become corrupted and then become more like the nightmares we're used to. That said, we also embraced a bit of D&D this week with the review of the board game from Ravensburger, Horrified Dungeons & Dragons, and honestly I think it's a quick way to get into the dungeon crawling one-shot. Oh sure, there's nothing in terms of in-character play, but it does feel like Encounters in Waterdeep. We just had a nightmare trying to arrange our own playthrough review sessions. I call it the curse of D&D game night logistics. In another nod to D&D, we also created the Wasted Wizards high-quality, stackable, conditioned ring miniatures look at Geek Native. Some fantastic photographs there. Condition rings, I think, are essential if you're using minis for combat and not the theatre of the mind. And I find conditions are like buses. They come along in groups. So having a system that does not break when a character has more than one condition is a must. As a bonus, though, that write-up has a little D&D 2024 rules quiz. You start with 5 points in health, which I call lore points, and each wrong answer costs you d4 damage. I also took a look at Magpie Games' card-based Zombie World role-playing game. It's not new, except this week the core rules were added to Drive-Thru RPG for free. I like it a lot, especially the bike deck, and I wish I had a physical copy. If you're planning any gaming for Halloween, then this is one to look at. It's not just Halloween that's coming. Roll20Con is here, and there's a superb charity bundle to support it. There's about 90% off, and downloads include Masks, the superhero game, and Legend in the Mists. During the virtual con, there are even free copies of games like D&D, Cyberpunk Red, and the Alien RPG to claim. Smiteworks, the company that runs Fantasy Grounds, have their own convention coming up, and FGCon 25 has been announced for early November. Or if you're looking just for a straightforward bundle, Humble has a range of Warhammer RPGs from fantasy to 40k available right now. Thanks for listening, take care, and when the stranger walks out of the dark woods under the blood red moon, keep your door closed.